let's get into it. It's crime o'clock, yeah, feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick-tock, won't stop, let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah, it's crime o'clock. Clock, clock, yeah. Typically new, neon signs glow, brick wall behind me. Headlines loud, but they never define me. They rush the story, skip the proof. I slow it down, let it show the truth. Files on deck, read every line. Timestamps matter, so does time. If it don't fit, I don't force the frame. Ask one question, whole story change. No fear my voice, no need to shout. Paper speaks when you read it out. If the math's off, I'll circle twice. Truth ain't loud, but it ain't nice. Yeah. Read it again. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick-tock, won't stop, let the facts talk. Pull up real close, yeah, it's crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Read it again. They sell a narrative if I sell receipts. Courtroom quiet, but the pages speak. Word for word, no added spin. Let it stand, yeah, let that sink in. Screenshot save, timeline's tight. Missing pieces keep me up at night. If they say elected, I say why. If they say case closed, I say try. No rush here, we do it right. Truth don't bend for the likes of hype. If you came for noise, you're in the wrong spot. This is evidence, this is crime o'clock. Clock, clock, clock. Stay with me. This isn't background noise. This is pattern recognition. This is documents. This is crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock, yeah. Feel that sound. Typically unique when the truth comes out. Tick-tock, won't stop. Let the facts talk. Say it with me now. Crime o'clock. It's crime o'clock. Typically unique. It's crime o'clock. Yeah. If you're here, you're early. If you're listening, you're paying attention. Show starts now.
Welcome back to Crime O'Clock on Typically Unique. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day so far. And we are getting into it today with Maddie's timeline. And I also found some additional information to add to Kaylee's timeline, amongst some other things. So welcome in, everybody. You can see I am having to readjust everything around here. Hopefully you got a chance to see our video that we dropped yesterday. So not a live, a recorded video. We have lots of them. I say we because it is Carlos, my husband, and myself. And yesterday we discussed the Truthline book that is coming out with Cy and the statement that he made in there about he went into the case with thinking Brian was guilty, which I've seen other people comment, kind of odd to say that. Like, I would think you should go in innocent until proven guilty. So that was interesting. And then saying that after seeing the evidence, how did he word it? It strengthened that opinion is how he worded it. Carlos and I discussed that thoroughly. It's a unique video because typically unique. We give both perspectives. So the perspective of me thinking that this case is a hot mess and the investigation, and Carlos is also seeing those points. He's listening to everything, watching everything, but he gives the other perspective. So Hopefully you get a chance to go back and check that out later if you didn't get to see that yet. And I had to do a recorded video yesterday because I volunteered at the election polls yesterday, and I used to teach social studies to elementary students, and um civic duty was something that I always taught, and I think it's important for us to do our civic duty whenever we can, and I'm retired now, so I was like, that is something that I want to do. This was my second time, and um I was leery about doing it the second time because it's a 13 and a half hour day. Like, I am not kidding you. It is so long, and there's so much time where it's just tons of downtime, which, okay, not a big deal, but you only get like a 1 hour break to leave in 13 and a half hours. I'm like, isn't that breaking labor laws? Now they do let you get up and, go grab something to eat. You can have snacks. You can drink, whatever, restroom breaks, whenever you want. You can do that. It's flexible, but it's a good process until it ends. When voting ends, I feel like all hell breaks loose. At least at the place I'm at. Please let me know in the chat. Hey, Dago. Hi, everybody. I'm going to say hi in a second. Let me know if you have ever volunteered at the polls, because I said I was leery about doing it the second time because just the long day, and it just wrecked me yesterday. Oh my God. I just got so frustrated at the end, and I came home last night and I said, smack me across my face if November comes and I say I'm going to do this again. They do pay us, but it's like barely over $100 for a 13 and a half hour day. And I said, if you make it 500, I'll come back. Sorry. And like I said, the setup is great. The process for voting is great. But when voting ends, hot mess. It's very important to keep track of everything. We have to sign documents. We have to initial things. They have to print out everything from the voting machine. They have to take all the ballots out of the voting machine. They get locked in a bag. There are people who are assigned to be in charge of different processes, and it's different people every time there's an election, and they don't always know what they're doing. And I'm a process person, and and procedures, and there was just no procedure. And by that time of the night, you are like done. Everybody's done. Like, you want to get out of there. And oh my God, if there was a process, it could go smoothly. Everybody could know, okay, we have to do this, and then we can get out of here. And it is not like that at all. And I even gave them feedback after the last time I did this, but apparently that didn't get heard. So thank you for listening to me, because I came home last night and I just had to, oh my God, just like my nerves were shot. I'll just say that. So thank you for thanking me for volunteering, but I've done my duty. That's what I kept telling myself on the drive home. I'm like, okay, you did your duty. You have helped out. And the other thing that brings me joy about it, though, is that I really spoke to, like, I always tried to have a personal connection with my students. Speaking, I don't know, just I'll leave it at that. Just, open and honest with them, and, tried to tell them it's not how to vote, but just it's very important when you turn 18, make sure you get registered, made sure they understood how. I knew from my own kids, like, they get a little like, it's an unknown. So they're like, well, I don't know how to do that, so I'm not going to do it. So, like, telling them it's not, you know, giving them a little bit of knowledge about it so that they're like, okay, this isn't going to be a big deal, how to register, what do you do? What do you do when you vote? Stuff like that. And I was always like, come back and tell me when you vote for the first time. And nobody ever has, but I have seen former students at the polls and it just makes my heart happy. So I love that. If you ever see one of your former teachers, go up to them and say something kind. All right, enough about the election work, but that was my day yesterday. Oh boy. So while I was sitting there yesterday, I tore through this book, like tore through it. Look at these notes. These like I am tagging, like if there's a page that I'll just give you some examples. What did I find yesterday? So like, here's the page that has the information about the sheath, okay? Like here's the page that has the chain of custody about the sheath. Here's the part where they talk about, no chain of custody. Here's the part about Jack D's house. Found this yesterday about the male C, unknown male C, and when they went into Jack Decor's house. Did you know they didn't have a warrant? No warrant, because he just gave permission. So I was curious, like, how would that have played into the legal part of things if it would have went to trial? Would not having a warrant been an issue? Uh-oh. I got to plug in my computer. Hopefully it doesn't die. I'm right here. I just got to plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that. So yeah, that was awesome. Like sitting there, I probably spent 11 hours on this. I kept saying to everybody, so I got a lot done. So today we're talking about Maddie's timeline, like I said, and extra information that I found about Kaylee and some other things. So I want to say hello to everybody. Hey, Sleuther75, Teary Dawn. If JD gave permission, then it should be fine unless he said to stop and they didn't. Okay, I don't think so. Dago. I marked every topic in this book up until the last part starts getting into Brian Koberger, and I haven't done that yet with his part. But I got Maddie's timeline done yesterday. I got Dylan's timeline done yesterday. And then some extra information that I found about Kaylee. So awesome. Sleuther, today is your birthday. Happy birthday. Aw. Let me see what I got here. Happy birthday to you. I hope you are doing something special. Did I remove it? I think I did remove it. We'll just do this. Oh, take me down. There I am. There I am. Hey, Tony Stevenson. Tony. Hey, I tried to prevent that. And you know what? I have to say, there were quite a few young people coming in. So I was happy to see that. Hey, Witchy Was. Hey, Christina. The Holly Berry. Donna. Thanks to all the mods for being here. Hey, Ro. Jen 7S. Italian girl. We missed you. I'm glad you're able to be back. Itty bitty poof. Truth and neurons. Uh-oh. They were demonetized. What is going on in these YouTube streets? Hey, senor. I wish that was me singing. That's not me singing. Hey, Jenna. Tara, Teresa. Hey, you guys. Hey, Halls. Tasha Nicole Wimberly. Good to see everybody today. We're going to start our class, our projector class. Hey, a new member, the Holly Berry. Welcome to the Unique Peeps. We are glad to have you here.
I appreciate you. Thank 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 you for the support. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. I got to move my notebook because my mouse isn't working very good. I hope I didn't miss anybody. All right, you guys, let's get into it. Maddie's timeline. I'm so happy I finally figured out how to get to this projector right away. Right away. Found some nuggets with Maddie's timeline here. And I'm going to take that membership down. Put some peeps in the chat for the Holly Berry UK, you guys. Right turn, Clyde. Hey there. Hey there. All right. Everybody starts off. Oh, wait a minute. I'm missing a page. I missed a page. I need to buy some new notebooks. There we go. Here we go. You know where everybody starts off at on November 12th. Between 11 a.m. and noon, the girls go to Taco Bell, except for Bethany. She's at home with Ethan. Okay. They go to Taco Bell. They possibly go to pick up some alcohol. And here is my first nugget about Maddie. So 12:21, 21 minutes after noon. She takes a lift, and yes, it says lift in the book. Hey, Mike. To unknown locations with an S. She takes a lift to unknown locations. And it's a 20-minute ride. It's a 20-minute ride. I put, they know, the cops know. Who's the Lyft driver in the area, you guys? Eric Gower. Eric Gower, supposedly, according to him, I'm the only one in Moscow that does this. He said in his interview, there used to be another female driver, but she stopped doing it because the college kids won't tip. Hey, Lucy. So, in the book, it says they did not do a warrant for Lyft. And I know Lana talked about this way back in January. So I went to find Eric Gower's interview, and Lana had it from way back in January, I believe. What are you yelling about, Lucy? Oh, Brian Todd. Hello. Oh, Jen's got some information. Let's see. That's why I love doing this with you guys. Vincent Sheets was another driver that was never questioned, at least not that I'm aware of. Oh my gosh, Jen, if you have where you found that at, please share that with me if you wouldn't mind. I was like, how do we find out? Is there a list? I was like, can I Google registered Lyft drivers in Moscow, Idaho in 2022? Would it show us that? Oh, that's how they say hi. And Dakota Sparks. All right, you guys, there's some names. So, yeah. Maddie takes a Lyft. They won't tell in the documents where she went. You know they know. They have to. Well, maybe they don't. Maybe they didn't want to know because doesn't seem to be a warrant for any Lyft information. Right? But it took 20 minutes. It looks like she went to more than one place. Looks like she went, right after getting back from Taco Bell. Did she get picked up at the house? Did she get picked up somewhere else? Did she get picked up at Taco Bell? I don't know. So I'm curious, was this Eric? Was it Eric who took her to these locations? Because we're going to listen to his interviews. I'll come back to that. And he says nothing about a ride in the afternoon. So, yeah, if you guys can find anything to share with me, just let me know in chat. Try to drop it in Discord to me if you can. Maybe she went to buy the White Claws. The White Claw thing, isn't that that's according to Dylan, and I thought it was when Dylan was walking towards Sigma Chi and Maddie was leaving Sigma Chi and she was carrying White Claws. So to me, it looked like she got them from there. I don't know. This is in the afternoon, 12 p.m., 12:21 p.m. All right. No time when she gets back to it just says 12:21, so 20 minutes later, 12:41 she's back. 12:41 she's back apparently, and then she receives an Instagram from Dylan. When we're looking at things to FOIA, it would be interesting to think about what could we get? How about the 1112 video footage? What time does that start? What time does the 1112 pumpkin camera, porch cam start that we have? Hi, Jessie Locks. G Bean. I saw WSU mom Kim. She likes to be just called Kim now, but I'm also Kim. So how are we going to do that? I'm typically unique Kim. I did, and I heard most of it. I listened up until a point where I don't know if she got kicked. I know she kept like getting kicked out. I heard the part, her nugget that really got me was about the football player, and that the football player went to, according to her, went to Jack D's house that night. And I remember hearing rumors. Kim, I believe if you went back and listened to her old original, like when she first came out over like probably on Dagos, I don't know, talking about that. And the reason she speaks of that is because this football player was dating her daughter's roommate, and she claims he was not at their apartment. He wasn't at WSU that night. And somehow she said he was at Jack D's house. And then I think of let me pull something out of one of my million tabs here. This is on page 299 of the book. And it's at Jack D's house. And it says, according to police reports, ISP forensic scientist Carrie Hogan and ISP detective Jeff Talbot entered the apartment at 9:17 a.m. This is Jack D's apartment on November 18th. After searching without a warrant, based solely on Jack's written consent, they found a drop of possible blood on the wall of the entryway. According to their reports, the sample was collected along with what could have been 5 or 6 small drops or runs of blood on a kitchen wall. Nothing is said in the report on any tie to the King Road house, but that's not true because, well, they might not make a connection to the house in the ISP report, but in the forensic documents where they're talking about DNA, unknown male C is in 1119 King Road. That's in Jack D's house. This is Jack Decor. He lives in if you don't turn, you go straight down King Street. You have to turn to go technically on Queen to get to the 1122 house, to go past the video camera. If you don't turn, if you go straight, it dead ends. His house is down there. And I always wondered why finding blood. Now I know because he's the ex-boyfriend. So he's the ex-boyfriend. I just always wondered, wouldn't they have had to connect it back to the house somehow? Back to the house. But it just made me think of that because if someone's making a claim, which maybe there's a vehicle we can look for during this day, the 12th, during the 12th, the evening of the 12th, the night of the 12th, that we could connect to this football player or that he's going to Jack D's house. You can see all the cars going past. So that would be something to look for. There should be evidence of the photos of these blood drops, which I don't think we have seen yet, and the consent form, maps and pictures prepared by Jack. Were put on a disc and taken into evidence by investigating officers. So that might be an interesting FOIA. Let me see. Let's see. Now it goes to Jack Showalter. We don't want that. I thought it was Jack Decor, but let me see. I don't want to say something wrong. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh no, this is Jack Decor. Did you know his middle name starts with an S? Get out of here. So, you guys, I turned the page to 300 and it says that Van Leuven interviewed Jack S. And I just stopped there and I was like, oh, wait a minute. It just switched to Jack Showalter. And then no, it's Jack S. Decor. Get out of here. Get out of here. So do you know he has 3 interviews? There's 3 interviews out there about Jack Decor that we should be able to get our hands on. Might be interesting to compare all 3 interviews. I know I'm taking a little side trip here to Jack Decor, but might as well while I'm here. I also made sure that I wrote down all of his roommates. Okay. So all of his roommates, if you want to write them down, Adam Latta, Jack Granger, Nathan Royce, Braden Jensen. I know that his interview is out there. Parker Schwerz, Braden Paulo. So there's 2 Bradens in that house. And Michael Lyons. They are all Beta Theta Pies. All of them are Beta Theta Pies. What did I make note of? Okay. That's our little side trip for Jack Decor. We're going to look at Eric Gower's interviews. Let me pull those up because we are at that part. And I got that open. I got to get to my other screen. Give me 1 second. I got it right here. So Eric Gower, I'm not going to play the whole video. I have clips. We're just going to listen to these clips. It's just audio. Thank you to Truth and Transparency. That is where I clipped these from. If we hear her voice, it's Lana. So this is audio only.
Waker had asked me, like,
so the first question, this part that I thought was important is.
I tried, because Waker had asked me, like, did you drop anyone off there? Like after that time, whatever. I was like, I don't think so. I was trying to go through my rides. Didn't have any drop offs, but I did have a pickup at 1119 King Street. So, like, around the corner, taking, I think, a guy and a gal or a guy and 2 gals. I can't remember.
Okay. So everybody pay attention to that. He tried, because he didn't know the people that he did that for. Okay. But this is what doesn't make sense is he was off the clock. Okay. Remember how he gets off the clock at 1:15 a.m. And so why do you think that if you were to contact Uber for your 3:06 a.m. pickup at 119 King Street, why are you telling?
Okay. So yeah, that's the point she's making there. So knowing we're at the point about Maddie, they are saying in the official documents that Maddie took a Lyft to an unknown location. It was a 20-minute ride, locations with an S, 20-minute ride. Okay. According to Eric Gower, he says, I'm like the only person driving. There are other names that were dropped in the chat for other drivers. So we're looking for who could have been this Lyft driver. Now with Eric, there's funny things going on with him because, and he might just do it because of money, right? Hey, the app's going to take a percentage. So if these college kids like, hey, they let me know, hey, I need a ride through the app, but then they jump over to text message and I get off the app. And so I can do it privately and I can make more money. I mean, people do that stuff all the time. It could just be that. Okay. So I think that is the point right here.
Said that we have no
I want to get back to Eric.
of Uber.
Campus at like 3:06, I think is when they're right.
All right. So this part we want to get to the question. Okay. So he says, let's continue from there. Okay.
It's at like 3:06, I think is when the right request came in. And so through that, I was trying to just find like the first name and message them. And then they sent me some specialized team. Like, this is for this investigation and everything. And they're like, oh, they're going to have contact us. Like, okay, well, how do they do that? Like, what's a good contact for? This chat has ended. Like, send a message if you want to continue chatting. Copy and paste it again. Same messages, never heard anything. And that was Lyft. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that's why I wanted this clip. Okay. So this is not Maddie's time. We are not talking about the time period that they are saying that Maddie took a lift. This is at like 3 a.m. Okay. So 3 a.m. Into November 13th. Okay. He's at 1119, I think is what he's talking about. I think he's talking about Jack Decor's house. Okay. And we can see all this on the video. Okay. But this is important because he says it was through Lyft. And here we have a interview. This was not just an interview to get information. This was, we need to clear you as a suspect interview. Okay. Like high importance. And they're getting this information and apparently they did not get the records from Lyft.
Where are they headquartered at? California. Both of them are California companies.
They never got a lift.
Well, since you hit it, let's, or you got to that point. Well, let's talk about your.
Okay. We listening to this? Where's the lifty poo?
Lana's saying, where's the Lifty Poo records?
Ninja.
Let me see if he says anything more on this clip.
Okay, so once.
All right. So that was that. I just wanted to document that he definitely said Lyft. And I've got another clip here. This one's going to be
3 or 4 in the morning on Friday, 9 Saturday morning, however you want to think of it, driving, and then went to bed, and then I want to start driving at 10, and it's not waking up till 10, so I probably didn't start driving.
So I wanted to get what information did they ask him? Make sure you can hear me. Yep. During this interview about this time frame when possibly Maddie could have been one of his rides. Okay. Did he even like come close to addressing this? If it's him. Okay. So let's rule out if we don't think it's him or not. Right. He's saying he drove until like 3 or 4 in the morning on Friday night. And then he went home and went to bed. He woke up at 10 in the morning. And that's where we're at right now.
Until 10:30, 11-ish or so. Try to catch a few rides over to Poland for their game. It's like $20 or so. And I ended up not getting any rides over there. I got one ride from LLCs, I think.
Okay. This could be the time frame. for Maddie's ride. He's talking about taking people over to Pullman for a game. And he's talking about going to LLCs. And I don't know anything about this. So let me know in the chat. What do we know about this? I think it's Le Schwab is what he's talking about. LLCs.
Some dorms on campus.
The dorms on campus. The dorms are not LLCs. The dorms are owned by the university. The off-campus housing would be LLCs, right? Those are private owners. What's he talking about here? Uh-oh, what happened? Donna, I almost do that every time I join somebody's live. Did you just hide a comment? What was it? Oh, you reported. Yeah, I'll go in and look. No worries, no worries. Whoever the person is, it was an accident. Thanks, Christina. Whoop.
Learning communities to Les Schwab for
Not LLCs like owning an apartment, living learning communities on campus. Living learning communities on campus to Les Schwab. All right, what's Les Schwab, you guys? Hi, Callie. Thank you so much. Oh, speaking of new subscribers, yes, if you are listening or watching, watching and not chatting, I am less than 90 subscribers away from that 3,000 target. I'm so excited. So please subscribe if you haven't.
got his car or something. And I think that was my only ride of the afternoon.
Oh, he said it was a guy. He gave somebody a ride over to Les Schwab to get his car or something. That was my only ride of the afternoon.
Like 1-ish, maybe.
He shut the app off around 1-ish. Now that doesn't, so he's giving rides all the time to kids without the app. So it would only be his phone records. So if we could get his phone records, see if there was any communication with Maddie's phone to see if he was the one that gave her a ride. Although they're saying it was Lyft, like I would think that there must be something on Maddie's phone that says Lyft.
Lunch.
Okay, so what he's saying here is from like 10:30.
And I want to start driving at 10, and it's not waking me up till 10, so I probably can start.
Oh, why did I back up?
From the LLC.
All right, so then he's going to go through kind of like the rest of his day. Shuts the app off around. Oh, there's I cannot screen record on my phone without a notification popping up. Sorry about that.
He made himself lunch at his house.
And then I think I started driving again around 3 or 4.
Yeah, so shuts his app off, has lunch at 1. I mean, is he having lunch with Maddie? You guys, don't take that seriously. And then he starts driving again around 3 or 4 p.m.
And then, if I remember right, it was pretty steady after that till 3 or 4 Saturday night, Sunday morning, whenever it was that I got home.
Is that usually a standard block of time when it gets busy, or is it just because of the games?
The games, and it was WC's Parents Weekend. It was U of I's senior night, last home game. So those days are more busy typically, but usually I don't start driving until like 7-ish, 8 o'clock, something like that at night. And then I'll drive till 2 or 3 in the morning, but usually by 3 it's pretty dead. yeah, usually by 3 it's died off, and so especially if I start getting tired, my kind of personal rule is I'll start driving home. If I make it home before I get a ride, then I'll shut off the apps. So yeah,
So you're in bed 3:30.
typically, yeah. I think that night, I think it was
Yeah, not that night.
4-ish maybe. I had that.
All right. Thanks for the information, you guys. So Les Schwab, I did not know that, is like a garage to a mechanic shop for cars. So that makes sense. Hey, my car's at the shop. I need a ride to go get it. Maybe. So that's probably a burger. And just fun fact that's where Molly got her new tires. All right. I've got 2 more clips from Eric. The reason I'm sharing this is because we have a part of Maddie's timeline, if you're just joining, where she took a Lyft at 12:21 p.m. to unknown locations. It was a 20-minute ride, but we don't know by who. So just listening to these clips of Eric.
On that business, but it took me quite a while to even figure out which one she was, because it's always a group there. You know, it's never just like usually one person. But even like when we got the Vandal alert, like something on King Street, I tried to text everyone I could remember that lived on King Street. And I never heard back from Kaylee, obviously makes sense now. But I also never heard.
It says Katie on the screen, but he's saying, I texted Kaylee after I found out about the murders. She never texted me back. And then he's talking about texting someone else that he's not sure if they live in the house or if they live next door.
And I thought she lived there, or one of the houses next door. And
Okay.
how long you know Kaylee on a personal basis because you've given her? How many rides do you think you've given her? 10 to 15? Since when? I think I've been giving her rides since the beginning of last year. I think we got connected during last school year. But like, I'm on a first name basis, but I don't know her last name. I can't think of it off the top of my head. When they Venmo me, sometimes I'll see last names.
So the reason why everybody, there's many reasons why Eric Gower looks suspicious. This is one of them right here, because we heard Kaylee's parents say on national television that a close personal friend was her private driver. Okay. And now we have the driver saying, well, I know her first name, but I don't really know her last name. I didn't know her last name, but of course I've learned it from news articles since the murders.
But like, at least right now, I can't think what her last name was. Obviously in the news article. But yeah,
So of the 4 of them, which ones of them have you given rights to?
I know Kaylee and Maddie. I think they were usually together. A couple of blonde gals. I assume I've probably given the other 2 a ride, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Either way, I didn't recognize either of the names, but people aren't usually saying like, "Hey, I don't recognize the name." Maybe I picked up a couple guys from there over the years, but they're usually with the group, and it's not like people are, "Hey, this is Ethan," or sometimes they're like, "Hey, yeah, this is so and so," but I'm like, "Hey," but it happens a lot, so there's pictures.
Okay. The part that I thought was important in here, let me find it. He says, Where'd it go?
They were usually together. A couple blonde gals. I assume I've probably given the other two a ride, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Either way, I didn't recognize either of the names, but people aren't usually saying like, "Hey,
You gotta recognize the man.
maybe." I picked up a couple guys from there over the years, but they're usually with the group, and it's not like people are, "Hey, this is Ethan," or sometimes they're like, "Hey, yeah, this is so and so," but I'm like, "Hey," but it happens a lot. So there's pictures.
Is that, let me see if that's my last one, because I thought I heard him say, maybe when he was saying they're usually in a group, I thought I heard him say he doesn't usually give rides like solely. So I was like, okay. Apparently it says Maddie was, but all right, let me get back to the projector over here. Continuing on with Maddie's timeline, you guys. She gets that Instagram from Dylan from 2 to 3. Okay. The exact time is unknown because Kayla thinks everybody got to her house between 2:30 and 3. Dylan says they left at 2. There's different times that are given, but it's definitely somewhere between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. that all the roommates arrive at Kayla Nguyen's apartment. Okay. That's where that famous picture is taken. There is a document, there's an interview or a document that says Showalter and Chestnut are also there. And let me look at the timeline to see if it tells us. I did not write it down where that comes from. Let me check. 2 to 3 p.m. So remember, if Connor Chestnut is someone that Maddie possibly has an on again, off again fling with, Maddie's at this 621 Taylor Avenue at the Whites, and so is Connor Chestnut and Jack Showalter. And this is let me get back here. The people at this party are Kaylee goes first because it's actually Kayla N is an Alpha Phi. Okay. She's an Alpha Phi. So Kaylee goes first. Then Bethany, Maddie, Dylan, Xana, Ethan, Hunter Johnson, Josie, Lyndon, Kai Davis, Allie Benson, and Sky Speck. They all go there. Supplemental report number 37. Showalter and Chestnut are at the party at the Whites per Showalter. And I think I can verify that, but let me show you this. How do I pick this? Well, if I download it real quick. There we go. I have a photo of Xana and Maddie at this apartment. Oops. And what I thought was interesting, look at the background. You can't see. Let me see if I do this. I'm looking at my screen. Look at the window reflection. And I just thought it was interesting to see. You can see the Queen Road apartment in the background. So if we can identify like exactly where this apartment is, you can see the reflection of a couple buildings in the background. So I'm going to look into that more and see if I can get like maybe like a diagram type map of exactly where these locations are, because this party is important at 621 Taylor Avenue, and then Allie's apartment is also important, Sigma Chi, the 1122 house, and then there's also a description of another party on another street. So I want to try to get all those locations somehow plotted so we can see them all. I think that's important. Witchy Was says Showalter and Chestnut are included in that timeline from chapter 9. Oh, of BP specifically, they were ruled out suspect. Oh, okay. When it starts talking about. Okay. But we could pull up supplemental report 37. So I'm going to jot that down here. It's probably MPD 37. And it's Jack Showalter's report. All right. So now we're at 3:48 p.m. And we've got Maddie, Kaylee, Dylan. They stay at the Whites. So they're still at Kayla N's. So Maddie's there with Kaylee and Dylan. Ethan, Xana, and Bethany left. Connor Chestnut is still at the Whites. So Maddie's there and Connor's still there. And my thoughts about this were as we look at this night, so far I've gone through I did Ethan and Xana's timeline side by side through the night. And I started to get this picture of like, if the, with Ethan getting these cheating texts, whether that's true or not, looking to see, are there moments when Ethan and Xana seem to not be together? There's that Snapchat group that gets created sometime during the night, and Xana's not included in it. And I think Kaylee was not included in it. It seemed to be Maddie, Dylan, Bethany. I'll have to go back and look at it, and I have it right here. Got to keep it handy because we flip back and forth between these things. So it was, where's the Snapchat? Oh, the Cougar Den. So it's the Cougar Den, right? Dylan's in it, Maddie's in it, and Bethany's in it. So I always feel so as we go through these timelines, and I haven't got a specific theory or thought about this yet. It's just standing out to me. It's standing out to me looking for connections between Dylan, Maddie, and Bethany. And then now they're including Ethan. So it's like, obviously, they want to communicate with him. There's something they want to communicate with him about during this night. And so that they add Ethan to that group at 9:39 at night. So almost 10 o'clock at night. We are back at 3:48 p.m. So we're still back in the late afternoon hours. Ethan, Xana, and Bethany leave the Whites. I'll just skip this because I just explained what I'm thinking, but this part right here, I need to clarify more. Don't worry about that. 4:51. And remember, everybody's at home now. So by 4:51, about 5 o'clock, everybody's home. They say they're making food. Right before that at 4:50, Maddie sends an Instagram message to Dylan, Kaylee, Xana, and Bethany. So all the girls. And I'm just wondering if it's like the photos they took at the Whites. Okay. I don't know if there's anything about that. They're all supposed to be napping between 5 and 8. I had questions about Xana's timeline during this time. Because there really wasn't any activity. We can just, I believe the napping is according to the interviews with Bethany and Dylan, but also Xana texts Ethan during that time and tells him, hey, I'm napping until 8. Okay. So they do have a text from Xana about that. So 8:04. So this is tracking so far. Dylan wants to wake Maddie up. So 8:04, Dylan calls Maddie, and Maddie doesn't answer, but Maddie sends a text message. Can I call you later? So I'm like, does she have somebody upstairs with her? Is she not home? Does she just want to sleep longer? I don't want to, for some reason, she doesn't want to answer the phone, but she sends a text. Usually you're in the middle of something. I'm going to add that here. If you don't answer the phone, it's because you can't, because you're in the middle of something. Is that what's going on? Or is she just asleep? Does she just want to sleep longer? Does she just want to sleep longer? And Dylan texts her back and says, yes, we, she just puts a J. We just called you to wake up and come down. So according to this, Maddie's upstairs. So Maddie is upstairs. That could be too an automatic reply. Yep. You just hit one button because it just automatically shows up as a response. Yep. That's a good one. Either way, it seems like I don't know. To me, can I call you later as I'm in the middle of something? That could be telling. All right, now we're at 9 o'clock. Wait a minute. Yeah, because that was at 8:04. All right, 8:04. We don't know anything between. So I don't know. Does Maddie wake up and go downstairs? But at 8:59, Maddie calls Xana. Maddie calls Xana. And let me see where Xana was at 8:59. Nothing. I don't have anything for Xana except for that she received a call from Maddie at 8:59. So supposedly she's still, they haven't left the house yet. They're supposedly at the house at 8:59. Cross-checking these timelines. So then we have 9 p.m. Maddie and Bethany go to Peter's apartment. That's at 9 o'clock. But Maddie calls Xana first before they go there. Okay, at Sigma Chi. So Maddie and Bethany walk over to Sigma Chi at 9 p.m. And then at 9:09, Maddie leaves Sigma Chi. So she was there for 9 minutes. So so then that means Bethany is there alone with Peter? I don't know who else is there. It didn't say. I'd have to maybe I will come across that in the book. Is Bethany alone with Peter? I'm looking at your comments. I saw someone say, where was it at? But this is like therapy following this case. Yeah, people were asking me yesterday what I was doing with this book, like taking notes and highlighting. And I'm like, I'm investigating. So they thought it was cool, though, that I told them about the case and that I had a YouTube channel. It's funny when you tell people that. All right, so this is weird. This is something to make note of. Like, why walk over there and then turn around and leave again? Like, did she didn't like the vibe? Did she didn't like who was there? Like, oh, I'm not going to stay here. Like, did she always plan to go out with Kaylee to the corner club? Or was that like a backup plan? Like, I'm going to go check out Sigma Chi and see how it is. I don't know, but that was a fast decision to me because it's got to take a couple minutes to walk over there. So she leaves, Maddie leaves Sigma Chi, and then at 9:18, Dylan calls Maddie for 14 seconds. So just because she left Sigma Chi, I think this is when she's walking back towards the house with the White Claw. Let me know what you guys think. Is this when she's walking back to the house with the White Claws, the box of White Claws? All right, we're about to get into some interesting names here in a minute. 9:39, Maddie's in the Cougar Den chats, and that's when they add Ethan. Okay, so that Cougar Den, a text messaging with Maddie, Bethany, and Dylan. Maddie, Bethany, and Dylan, they add Ethan. Let me see where Xana is. Let me see what time it says Xana, if it says when she is at Sigma Chi. So I just said that Dylan called Maddie. When I get to Dylan's timeline, we are going to pay attention to who she is calling and when, because she's calling everybody. Like, she's calling everybody all night. Like, is she keeping tabs on everybody? 9:18, Dylan called Maddie. At 9:31, Dylan called Xana. Bethany is putting Xana and Ethan at Pete's apartment after 9 o'clock. After 9 o'clock. So sometime after 9, Ethan and Xana are there. But supposedly they're saying Ethan didn't park the Explorer until like 9:37, 9:27, something like that. So it's after 9:30. So I'm just trying to narrow down at 9 p.m. who's in Peter's apartment. I don't think Xana would be there yet. So then we have 10 to 10:15 is when Kaylee and Maddie arrive at the corner club. Okay. And I thought that they were with Riley Moreland because I think this is the name that Dylan says was at the house with Kaylee before she went to the corner club. Riley Moreland. So Maddie walks back home from Sigma Chi. They call Eric Gower to pick them up at their house, take them to the corner club, and they get to the corner club from 10 to 10:15, and someone else is with them. I had the name Riley Moreland from one document, and then yesterday I found Aiden McKenty. Aiden McKenty. Now, here's the difference. I think Dylan says Riley Moreland is at the house with Kaylee. So do they just take the ride together to the corner club? And then in the book, it says Aiden McKenty is hanging out with Madison. I believe she's there for Maddie. But she was supposed to stay at the house that night. And hopefully I wrote that down where I got that from. Oh no, but I know I have it marked. I should have it marked. So let me tell you where I got this from. Okay. All right, it's got to be in here. Let me see. It's Kaylee's car. Okay. It might be coming from this. There's a lot of information that came from this McConkey also. Kaylee McConkey. She's the one that got the FaceTime call. She's the one that took the picture. All right. Where? I think I have a sticky note somewhere. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep track of where I'm getting this information from, but it's either from the book, the timeline chart in the book, or from the documents. What did I write here? That's the FaceTime. 16. I don't know. I might have to come back with that. I'll just leave it there for now. But I came across the name Aiden McKenty, and it was said that she was at the corner club and she was hanging out with them, and she was supposed to go back with them that night to stay at the house, but she ended up not going back to stay with them at the house. And I have other things marked, so this might come back up as I get to those. Let me see. Seeing if there's any information in the chat. Okay. All right. I'm just going to continue on. I'll have to come back to that. So then 10:30 to 11. So they're still at the corner club, and Josephine Torville. Okay. Which I saw her referred to as another Josie. Okay. So we have Josie L. Lauterin, and then we have Josie T. Okay. So just keep note of that, because I saw it written as Josie somewhere, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, I had to make sure I knew who. So this Josephine Torville sees Maddie and Kaylee at the corner club. So that's confirmed, 10:30 to 11. Plus we've seen the video, the corner club video. At 11:14, Bethany sends Maddie a Snapchat, but it has unknown contents. Okay. All right. At 11:21, Maddie's taking that picture with Cole Berenberg. And in our document, this name is blocked out, but that picture was sent to Leo Romero. So Maddie takes this picture with Cole Berenberg and sends it to Leo Romero. This is in the book. This is said in the book. So if I go to ISP report 2, it's on page 7. Getting to the page. There we go. Okay. Okay, this is ISP report 2. And so just to refresh everybody's memories, I know we've seen this document. This is when he's talking about, this is Cole Berenberg, I believe, getting interviewed, talking about his roommate being at the dart tournament at the Moose Lodge, right? And let's see, at 11:21, so it's confirmed right here that he took the photo with Maddie at the corner club. Mogen sent it in a group text. So this Leo Romero is in a group text, and also sent the photo with a text message saying, get to the club blank. why can't we see if it said now, that wouldn't be redacted. What if it said C? We're looking for somebody that goes with the moniker C because he was like a drug dealer and he was kicked out of one of the frats and all of this. Get to the club blank. I don't know. Leo? Get to the club, Leo. I don't know. He didn't remember taking the photo with Mogen and didn't remember who Mogen was with. This was also the first time he'd seen Mogen outside of class and school projects. So in this document from ISP, we do not know who Maddie sent this photo to, but in the book, it tells us that she sent it to Leo Romero. Never heard that name before. But that's who she sent it to. Leo Romero. Window. There we go. Okay. We are at 11:21, still at the Corner Club. Just found out who she sent that picture to. Interesting. We're at 12:40. Maddie FaceTimes with Ruby Simpson. This is Ruby Simpson in Boise. And they FaceTime for 40 seconds. Maddie's at the Corner Club with her friend Aiden. Okay, this is where I got this from. So I knew I had this. So we will look at Buckner's interview, ISP number 14. It's on page 46. Maddie's at the Corner Club with this girl, Aiden. Now, I thought Aiden was a boy. I have to tell you guys, I named my son Aiden almost 30 years ago. No one had that name back at that time. We wanted to have A names in our family. And I knew that there were Aidens, Aidan. And I was like, let's spell it a little differently. And this is how I spelled it 30 years ago. And so when I was reading this, I was like, oh my gosh, someone's using that as a girl's name. That's cool. So I was surprised by that. So this is Aiden McKinty. At first, I thought this was Chicken Boy, AA. Isn't his name Aiden? So, okay, we're going to look at this. Move it. ISP 14 on page, what did I say? 46. Oh, I'm way down. Sorry. We're going to be able to fill in some of these blanks, okay? This is in Meridian, Idaho, where this interview took place. Her mother was there also. Now, this is the interview of, let me see. I don't think we get initials in this one. Let's see. So this person takes online classes and lives in Boise. She lived at the 1122 King Road house last year while in the, I think it's the Pi Phi sorority. She lived in that room. She lived in the room that blank is currently in. Now, I don't think this is Kaylee. I'm not sure whose room. If it's Kaylee, then I think that's Sophia Whitehead. Is this Sophia Whitehead getting interviewed? Is this Ruby Simpson getting interviewed? It is Ruby Simpson. This is Ruby Simpson because right here on line 5, Mogen FaceTimed her that night. And in the chart, it says Maddie FaceTimes with Ruby Simpson. So this is Ruby Simpson. Yep. And it says 40 seconds. Mogen was with her friend blank. Okay. In the book, it says Aiden McKenty. I got to find this part in the book. Got to verify. Because we get some other names. So. It's got to be around this part. Oh, here it is. Page 293. That same day, let me see. So they talked to one of Jack DeCour's roommates. And then that same day, ISP detective James Millar interviewed Aiden McKenty in Meridian, Idaho. McKenty, a former member of Pi Phi sorority, roommate of Sophia Whitehead, and frequent visitor at 1122 King Road, had been at the Corner Club with Kaylee on Saturday night. There was a weird man at the bar, she told Millar. I did not have a sticky note on this page, but I do have it highlighted. Oh my gosh. I just got to write this down. Page 293. We're doing this live, you guys. Page 293. There we go. All right. So just like I put on my thumbnail, we are filling in some holes. We are filling in some holes with some names, some events, and some times, right? We don't have it all completely filled in yet, but we are starting to be able to fill in some things. Oh, I appreciate that, Jen. That is true. It is money donations is appreciated, not expected. Really appreciate hitting the like button. Oh, thanks, Senor. You beat me to it. Yep, hit the like button if you could. Uh-oh, what did I miss? What did I miss? Sorry, you guys, I'm not haven't been looking at the chat. I'm gonna miss anything. Okay. Getting back to the document. I wish they would let us pull up two different things at the same time. Be much easier. Okay. And did I say? Oh, continuing on page 293, it says that this weird guy was pushing her at the bar. Aiden McKenty is the girl that this weird man pushed at the bar. Mogen introduced her to the man. The man was following Mogen, McKinty, and Gonsalves while she was there. She spent most of her time at the corner club with Mogen and Gonsalves. She was supposed to go home with them, but she had a weird feeling. There's that weird feeling again, like we could do a timeline on the people with weird feelings that night. So she did not go home with Kaylee and Maddie. She got a ride home with a freshman Greek life designated driver. Aiden left the corner club at 1:15 a.m. I wonder if Aiden lives in that house, the pumpkin house. I'm just guessing, just wondering. Just wondering. All right, so now we're at 1:22 a.m. Kaylee sends a picture of her and Maddie at the corner club. And this is when she says, Maddie just called me a bucktooth bitch. I think that's funny. Like, to me, that just seems like a, I don't know, funny joke. Who knows? Inside joke? I don't know. And I think she sent this to everybody. So at 1:37, they leave the corner club with Jack Showalter. At 1:49, Gower picks them up at the grub truck. So no details in the official timeline from the book in the chart. Just leave the corner club, arrive at the grub truck. They don't mention the, what did you say to Adam? They don't mention that in the chart, that video. That's interesting. Maybe that's why they don't ask about it. Okay, this 1:50 time right here did not come from the chart. I found this in the book. There was a FaceTime call to Kaylee McConkey. Maddie has a FaceTime call at 1:50. At 1:49, they get in Eric Gower's car. Eric Gower doesn't say anything about Maddie being on the phone. He says she's eating grub truck mac and cheese with her fingers. But there's a FaceTime to Kaylee McConkey at page 306 in the book. So let's look at page 306 in the book. Let me know in the chat if you guys are liking how I am going from the timeline chart in the book, finding reports, finding video clips, and then just finding passages in the book that are also giving additional information. I'm just trying to like somehow get all this information into one like concise chronological thing so we can kind of put a picture together. Oh, thank you. Okay, I appreciate that. I don't want to be boring. I want your feedback. Thanks, Love Tina. I saw you earlier. Hello. Hey, Love and Other Habits. Okay. What did I say? Page 306. Page 306. November 18th, 2022, ISP detectives drove to Desert Sage Elementary School. So I wonder if this girl must be an elementary school teacher. To interview a 2021 University of Idaho graduate named Kaylee McConkey. So she must be a teacher. McConkey, 25, had graduated in May of the previous year, but was a member of Pi Phi with Maddie, whom she referred to as her best friend. So Kaylee McConkey says Maddie was her best friend. McConkey told detectives that she knew Kaylee Gonsalves through Mogen, had met Ethan once through Xana, and had socialized with Bethany and Dylan on occasion. She received a FaceTime call from Mogen the night of the homicides at approximately, it's Boise time, 1:50 a.m. Boise time. All right. So I got to convert that. What time is that Moscow time? Is it 12:50? 1:50 a.m. Boise time. Is it 12:50? So this is weird. We have two different girls saying that they're FaceTiming Maddie. Maybe she made more than one. Thank you, Bernice Rivera. Hi, Mandy. Mandy, yeah, sometimes you got to leave and come back. McConkey and McKenty. That sounds like a law firm. McConkey, McKenty Law Firm. So I'm going to change this to 12:50. And that would be 10 minutes. Let me put this up here. So Maddie FaceTimes Ruby Simpson at 12:40, and they're only on for 40 seconds. And then it looks like 12:50, she FaceTimes Kaylee McConkey. Whoops. You can't see it. All right. So Maddie had a moment where she was getting in touch with, I know there was a group. It says in the book that Jake, her boyfriend back in Boise, was there. There was a group from Boise that were out at the bars. And so Maddie's just, connecting with them. Another interesting thing about let me do this for a second. Another interesting thing about Kaylee McConkey is that she says in this report, her interview with Millar, is that she had seen Mortensen and Funka. That's Bethany, you guys. If you don't know, it's Bethany Funka. She saw them in the days after the homicides, specifically Monday, November 14th. So Kaylee McConkey saw Bethany and Dylan on Monday, November 14th, when the two survivors arrived back in Boise. So Dylan and Bethany go back to Boise. I believe Bethany went to Dylan's home. McConkey said Bethany's parents met her there and she went home with them. The detectives did not indicate why the Funkas would meet in Boise when they lived in Reno, but it makes sense that Bethany would leave Moscow as soon as possible. Yeah, Bethany wanted to get out of there, so she goes with Dylan to Dylan's home. Bethany's parents have to come from Reno, Nevada, so they go to Boise to get her. From the report, it says the last social media post McConkey had seen with any of the victims was a picture of Mogen on Gonsalves's Snapchat, and they were at the grub truck together. So remember when Kaylee is like, she's taking pictures of Maddie at the grub truck? Has anybody ever seen that photo? Oh no, that would be in Snapchat. I thought she said Instagram. All right. That's Kaylee McConkey and McKenty. We are at 1:54 in the car. Let me add this back to the stage. So now Maddie and Kaylee are in the car, and Bethany calls Maddie. Okay. And I think this is about the food, right? Because Bethany then puts out that text. Bethany puts out like an all call. She puts out this text to everybody. It's a photo with a message, get me some Mac. And that goes to Maddie, but they're already in the car on their way home. So Maddie was just a little too late for that. The official timeline in the book, and I keep stressing this, the chart that's in the book, the Broken Plea book by Christopher Whitcomb, it is the official timeline from Moscow Police Department and Idaho State Police. Their official timeline still says 2 a.m. they arrive home, even though they have video and all that stuff. But, well, the car pulling up. So they get home, they go to Kaylee's room, and Maddie takes Murphy outside. So the narrative is that they all go to Kaylee's room and Kaylee's getting ready for bed. When I say all, I still feel like we are unclear as to who all is in this room. I did Kaylee's timeline. Where did I put it? Still in my notebook. Let me look at Kaylee's timeline. Kaylee's in the room and Maddie are in the room. And we know Bethany's in the room because Bethany took selfie photos with Murphy the dog on Kaylee's bed. We don't know that Xana is there because no one knows where Xana is at 2 o'clock in the morning. There's reports that she's still at Sigma Chi. I'm not clear if Dylan is in that room or not. For Kaylee, I had that Kaylee also got a message from Bethany at 1:55. So Maddie got a text message from Bethany at 1:54. Maddie got a text message from Bethany at 1:55. They both said, get me some Mac. At 2 a.m., Kaylee also got home, goes upstairs, and the information for Kaylee said Kaylee was taking selfie videos. How do they know that if they don't have Kaylee's phone? If they don't have Kaylee's phone open, they have Kaylee's phone. They have Kaylee's phone, but supposedly they've never gotten into Kaylee's phone. But it says that Kaylee goes upstairs at 2 a.m. and is taking selfie videos. So sounds like they saw something on Kaylee's phone to me. Oh, she sent them to someone. Senor, that's why we need the detective in the house. So here's the thing. I need to do an episode on this. Carlos and I were talking about Kaylee's phone, about them not being able to get into it. So the topic today is Maddie, but I'm sidetracking for a moment, okay? They all had iPhones. They were able to get into Ethan, Xana, and Maddie's phone because their family members gave them the passwords. That's in the reports. The password that Kaylee's family gave didn't work. And they could not, according to the reports, do anything else to get into Kaylee's phone. Carlos and I were talking about this, and I haven't looked up any updates, but at one time there was this big deal in the news about Apple company not cooperating with police to get into people's phones because they brand their products as like, say it's a safety feature, right? We're not giving any information from anybody's phone. Do you guys think that's the case? Because it's an iPhone and Apple won't like cooperate with them to do that. Personally, Detective Urig. I know. That's so Lucy, good point. I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just asking. Kaylee's phone does go by Urig, Detective Urig, and Detective Urig is like the cell phone guy for like what? Secret Service? He works for Secret Service, right? Yeah, it doesn't have to be the device. That's what I keep saying. Like, can it just be like the cloud? They can access stuff in the cloud. So Apple might say, no, we're not letting you get into the physical device. But I think, this is how I said it to Carlos, you guys. We send astronauts to the moon, but we can't get into a phone. We can't get information off of a phone. So I think they got into that phone. All right. That was my Kaylee sidetrack. So some of the girls are upstairs in Kaylee's room. Maddie takes Murphy outside at 2:50 a.m. Now, this is after Kaylee had started making she received a FaceTime call from Jack Decor, Kaylee did. And then she's like rapid firing Jack. Like some of them, there's more than one phone call in a minute. Okay. And after Kaylee has done that for a bunch of times, Maddie takes over. So these are all calls to Jack. 2:50 a.m., 2:51 a.m., 2:51 a.m., 2:52 a.m., 2:53 a.m. So first it's Maddie to Jack, Maddie to Jack, Maddie to Jack. And that's Jack Decor. Not answered. Maddie calls Xana. Maddie calls Bethany. I'm sorry, but all of this frantic, to me, they are rapid fire, and I'm calling them rapid phone calls. Kaylee and Maddie. Something is going on. I don't think they're attacked right at that at this time. They're able to use their phones, and I think they're hearing something. And they've got moments to like find out exactly what's going on, to make a decision. What do we need to do here? Because I don't think they know what's going on. And then that's it. Frantic calls and then nothing. I know Lana says this all the time that last, I believe, I don't want to speak for anybody. There's lots of creators that, and you can't help but notice that 2:53 time period for Kaylee and Maddie. And then for both of them, there's nothing else, no phone activity from either of them after this time. You have to look at it that way. I'm sure investigators do, right? So I've been noting like where people's timelines stop. Okay. So let's backtrack a little bit with that. So with Ethan and Xana, let's look where everybody's timelines stop, because Maddie's the last victim. So I have now done all 4 victims' timelines. Not perfectly. There's still stuff that can be added, but I did like the skeleton. Okay. So for Ethan, his timeline stops at 2:01. Nothing more about Ethan that we know of after 2:01. After one of his, I don't know if this is a friend, somebody frantically calls, FaceTime calls, doesn't just call, FaceTimes Ethan 5 times. Another person who seems to know something's going on, frantically calling Ethan. Nothing from Ethan after that. And Xana, they are placing her activity because because of her DoorDash order at 2:15, because of her DoorDash message at 3:54, and because her phone is playing TikTok at 4:12. 4:12 is the last time that there is anything of on Xana's phone. So Xana has the longest timeline. Ethan has the shortest timeline. And Maddie and Kaylee are in between. If you look at it like that. Ethan's activity stops at 2:01. Maddie and Kaylee's stops at 2:53. And Xana's stops at 4:12. I have to think more about that. Has anybody found out who Cooper Atkinson is yet? I don't think I've come across it yet, Witchy. I'm looking for it. Yeah, Mandy, there's a lot of people that are looking into, it's just Xana's phone and account that are placing the order and the messages, right? So anybody could be doing that if you have the information. And I do believe there's a photo of Xana's password book open in one of the crime photos. So Cooper Anderson is not on any witness list. Yeah, I don't know. We got to look into him. That's what I'm talking about. Let's be honest. Hello to you. Maddie and Kaylee never called Dylan. Yes, that's after I get through Dylan and Bethany's timelines, it's going to be interesting to go back and note who's communicating with who. Because I think you're right. I think Dylan's kind of Dylan's calling a lot of people and texting people during the night, her roommates, when I say people. But is anybody reaching out to her? They are when they're sharing photos, like the photos they took at the Whites and stuff like that. They are. All right. So let's see. So when I say that Maddie's activity stops, it means there's no more outgoing, right? There's no more outgoing. However, at 4:30 a.m., Bethany called Maddie at 4:30. And then not till 10:30 a.m. does Dylan text her, "Are you up?" 10:30 a.m. That's it. This horrible crime. Dylan is 8 or 9 feet. Dylan's bed is 8 or 9 feet under the floor of Maddie's room where her and Kaylee are killed. Some attacking went on in that room, however it happened. If it started there, I think it ended there. She doesn't hear anything. She doesn't reach out till 10:30 a.m. to Maddie. So that's the official timeline for Maddie. And like I said, it's the skeleton that I've gotten from the official timeline from the book. And then as I'm reading the book, I'm finding more information to fill in and add. And so I did find a few important things about Kaylee as I was reading yesterday. So let me do just a couple updates. So I found, I'm calling it additional information. Okay. So in, I think it's Joe Lake, supplemental 10, It's a Maya Clark interview. And so I didn't know this before. So this Maya Clark is, so I found out like the bigs and littles and all of that for Kaylee. Okay. So Maya Clark was a big in Alpha Phi to Callan May. Callan May was a big to Kaylee. So Kaylee's big is Callan May. Kaylee is big to Jaden Smith. I think it's interesting that they started doing guys and that is this a guy? I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't assume. Maybe it's not. Kaylee is big to Jaden Smith and Emma Tiger. All right, so let's go back to Maya. So you can see this Maya is older, significantly older than Kaylee. So let's see. When Kaylee was a freshman, Callan was probably a sophomore or junior. And then this Maya would have been like a junior or senior when Kaylee's a freshman. Okay. So Maya Clark, she helped Kaylee get the internship with Extreme Networks. Sorry, my handwriting isn't as good on this because I just was taking notes. Maya Clark helped Kaylee get the internship with Extreme Networks. This is in the book. It should be in Joe Lake Supplemental 10. The boss, Kaylee's boss, is Jeremiah Shea. Jeremiah Shea. And he is based out of Canada. What am I hitting here? He's based out of Canada. Now, I know Lucy disagrees with this, and if there's some contradictory information out there, because we know this is not the investigation of the century, let me know. I need like the sources of where information comes from, so I know, like, to verify it. In the book, it is saying that Kaylee did not have an official job offer yet. So according to this Maya Clark, Kaylee thought, or like assumed, like, hey, I've had this paid internship. She was doing an internship with Extreme Networks. They were paying her anywhere from like $20 an hour to $27 an hour. So she's, having experience with them. So she was expecting, oh, you did send them to me? Okay, thank you. All right. So then it says Erica Anthony. Oh, see here. I wrote WSU Mom Kim over here. She mentioned this person last night, WSU Mom Kim. Erica Anthony facilitated Kaylee Gonsalves's knowledge about salary negotiations, but she did not directly negotiate her salary. So we've got Maya Clark, Erica Anthony, and Kaylee kind of connected around this Extreme Networks. Okay. And Lucy said she sent me something, and I did not look at it yet. Let me look. There might be different information about... Let me see. What document is this? Can I share this tab? Can I choose this tab? Let me see. Remove. Let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to pick this. Nope. Do that. It's coming. Hold on. There we go. Okay, ISP report 75. Ooh, I need to make this bigger. Oh, there we go. Whoa. Too big. That's it. That's my two choices. Okay. All right, let's see. This is ISP report 75. Oh, listen to this, you guys. After the murders, blank blank contacted blank 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 and wanted to return the Rover, the Range Rover, you guys. I think it was Christy. Later, she contacted them and told them that her husband did not want to return the vehicle. This is in the book. This is in the book. Okay. Christy wanted to return the Range Rover. Then Steve said, no, let's keep it. They spoke with the finance manager who confirmed the price of the vehicle. I got that. I was going to get to this during the thing. This is not what I wanted yet. All right, let me go back. I don't think. Oh, I know what you're saying, Lucy. Okay. Okay. So we are deciding if Kaylee had a full-time job yet. And I guess maybe we're just looking. We have the same, you and I have the same information. We're just looking at it differently. Okay. So let me read this paragraph, you guys. It says right here. I spoke with the finance manager who confirmed the price of the vehicle as $24,423. He also confirmed that Kaylee put down $6,500 in cash and the grandmother put down $1,000 on a credit card. Kaylee put in her credit application that she made $3,200 a month as a blank for blank and had been working for them for 5 months at the time. Okay. Maybe that is contradictory. I just was looking at this and like, if you're making $27 an hour and you're working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, I'm not doing the math right now, but would that equal $3,200 a month? Would her internship have been for 5 months at that time? To me, an internship is like a semester. So I was thinking like her internship would have been from August to December. So August, September, October, November, December. That is 5 months. I don't know. Is it important? I don't know. So let's note that. So I'm going to note that. And remember, this was Maya Clark's information. So according to Maya Clark, she did not think that Kaylee had been hired in full time yet. So I'm going to write down ISP 14. Maybe she was working there for 5 months already. There we go. So I thought these names are important, especially I forget, you guys can let me know in the chat. I forget what WSU Mom Kim said about Erica Anthony. I know she talked about her last night. Oh, should I read more of this? Because it says about bringing the car in for work. All right, let me read the rest of it. This one. According to Blank, Kaylee was a first-time buyer, so her credit was good. She received the car loan without having a cosigner. When Blank contacted them about returning the car, the dealership put $1,000 back into the Blank credit card. Then when they found out the family was keeping the car, they took the $1,000 back out. This person saw nothing unusual during the sale. He told me he did try to sell Kaylee an extended warranty, but she declined. And this person said the vehicle was a 3-month warranty by Blank after the sale. Blank is now waiting for the Rover to be returned to the family. Then it can be brought into the dealership to work on the check engine light problem. That happens sometimes. Sometimes it's just an electrical issue. I mean, I've had that happen with lights and stuff, like a light coming on all the time. Or maybe it's really telling you that there's an engine problem. All right. I have a couple more pieces of information about Kaylee. That I'm adding. I read you Jack D's roommates already. Okay, this is Erica Anthony. Erica said that Kaylee had a she says Kaylee had a full-time, paid internship at Extreme Networks, making $20 to $27 an hour. So in the book, they were trying to like work through like how much money is Kaylee making? Her lifestyle looks a little bit extreme. Like she's not living a poor college kid lifestyle, right? So they were thinking if you're getting student loans for college, that includes your tuition and housing. It can. So she could have been using loan money to pay her rent. That is an option. You can do that. So her rent could have been paid for with her loan. They were suspicious about her affording this car. This car and her lifestyle. So these are like the investigators talking. So Kaylee put $3,200 a month as her income. That's almost as much as teachers make. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And she hasn't graduated from college yet. Oh my God. Here's what she said. She said she was an operations manager at Extreme Networks. So this was her job title, operations manager. That seems like, when you're an operations manager, that's not low man on the totem pole. That means you are, and Extreme Networks is a digital provider systems. They have physical operating. They call them switches. I don't know what that is, but they provide switches to manage large organizations like schools, like colleges, like hospitals, businesses, things like that. So if she's an operations manager, that's interesting. We already went through the Page 289 in the book mentions her online content. Page 292 is where I told you, Josephine Torville is also called Josie. So you got to watch. In the book, it talks about Kaylee taking rides with random people. Kaylee takes rides with random people. Sophia Whitehead lived in Kaylee's room the year before. Aiden McKenty is a roommate of Sophia's. It also said that Sophia was renting the extra bedroom. So let me look and see if that is on these pages that I wrote down. Because everybody thought it was Ashlyn Couch. Everybody thought Ashlyn Couch had something to do with that extra spare bedroom. But now I am hearing Sophia Whitehead. All right. Here's some other names. So I thought everybody kept saying Molly Gray, like Gray or Grey for Kaylee's friend. But in the book, they have Great, Grate, Great. So they also called her Ashley Couch, not Ashlyn. Ashley Couch, Peyton Campbell, and Molly Great is who they have as Kaylee's friends. Sophia Torville. Is that who we're talking to? I'm sorry, Josie. Josie Torville told the police that they should speak with Sophia Whitehead, who had lived in Kaylee's room the year before, as well that they should speak to Ashlyn Couch, Peyton Campbell, and Molly Great. So what other page number did I have written down? I had 292. I had another page. 289. Oh, this is about the book. I mean, about the car. All right, you guys, page 288. Okay, 288. Here it comes. So, beyond the Range Rover purchase, Kaylee's life grew less clear. By all accounts, she was popular, well loved. So again, this is according to Joe Lake. They said red flags started to appear. Red flags. Most of them involved her social interactions with men. Hey, no shame, but she did seem like she could have possibly been seeing multiple people at the same time. But there were also issues of online content that might have been problematic. So issues of online contact that might have been problematic. And that is supplemental 19. So let me write that down here. I'm trying to keep track of all this stuff. Where'd I put it? Online content, supplement 19. All right. Let me just finish this extra information here. I shared with you about Aiden, roommate of Sophia. She's the one I told you about, the guy pushing her at the bar. Oh, here we go. Listen to this, you guys. Aiden McKenty grew up with Jack Showalter. She grew up with Jack Showalter. Aiden McKenty got a text from Jack Showalter at 3:04 a.m. the night of the murders, asking her what she was doing. I'm not sure where she lives. Where does this girl live? Okay, there's a couple more pieces of information. There's someone named Malia Janes. She said that Kaylee was not close with her parents. Eldair Rojas and his girlfriend, Zoe McCormick, were at the Corner Club. I thought people were thinking this was Jack D's roommate, but I do not have his name as a roommate. This is not a roommate. So I'm not sure. I know I've heard this name before. Zoe McCormick. So I need to dig in more to that. I know other people have said things about this stuff, so I just forget what I knew or need to go back, refresh, or whatever. Okay, Tinder. This is about Kaylee. There were 19 interactions on Tinder. So what does that mean? It's more than swiping, right? I don't know. I've never been on Tinder. I've been married for almost 30 years. Never used a dating app in my life. That was before my time, children. 19 interactions. So communicating with guys on there. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for that link. I'm going to check that out. Yeah, like chatting with people. Is it actually like setting up dates with people? I remember one time, maybe you guys remember this, and I'm sure it was probably Leanna. Someone had a video of a black SUV pulling up, not pulling into the driveway, but kind of like turning around, and someone who looked like Kaylee coming out of their house and jumping in this SUV and then like driving away, like getting picked up for a date. But I think it was dark outside. It was dark outside. Doesn't mean that's anything. Mason Barstow. This is according. Oh no, he was at the party. He was at Kayla Nguyen's party where they took the famous picture. Kaylee was supposedly seeing Mason Barstow. He was the president, I believe, of the Delta Tau Deltas. Kaylee had sent him maybe this was in Kayla's interview. I don't remember. On this page in the book, 297. Kaylee apologized to Mason for something. And I think it's interesting that people were also saying Kaylee was dating Eric. What was his last name? Runge, Eric Runge, who was also on the board. Like, he was like the treasurer or something. She's dating two guys at Delta Tau Delta. If they find out, like that's not going to be a good look. Maybe is that why she apologized to him? I don't know. Kaylee sent a Snapchat message to Mason that night. Maybe that was the apology. I'm not sure. No, because we can't see Snapchats. Kristen Zoe Wonenberg is a sorority sister. And I do know that there was something in the book about Kaylee wanting, I don't know if she just wanted to hang out with Mason that night or she wanted Mason to go to a corner club that night or something like that. But Mason went to a formal with somebody. Like all that is like in a part of the book. 297. Let me see. Something weird going on there. And it was that night. So something was going on that night with that situation. Here it is. The mention of Ethan Runge rose to police notice at that point because they had taken a significant interest in Kaylee's dating life and its potential impact on her relationship with Decor. They found her account on Tinder, for example, and discovered in subpoenaed records 19 different interactions. On November 27th, ISP detectives Tim Hopkins and Derek Brown interviewed Aldair Rojas, who told them he was at the Corner Club with Kaylee, Maddie, and his girlfriend, Zoe McCormick, Saturday night. Everyone was drinking alcohol that night. They were not using recreational drugs. His friend, Mason Barstow, had been invited to Kaylee's house the night of November 12th, but chose not to go. I really feel like they had a get together back at their house after all the other events of that night. I'm taking this down. So I've always thought if you look at the whole scene of that house with the cans everywhere and the beer pong table being out and the Bluetooth speakers out and knowing Xana and everybody seemed to have like there were 2 or 3 parties at the Whites. The Sky Spec had like a low get together. The frats weren't really allowed to have parties that night. It makes sense that they would all end up back at 1122. Mason Barstow was invited over that night. He chose not to go. I'm telling you, how many people are like, oh, I had a weird feeling. So we've got Aiden McKenty. She got a weird feeling. Mason Barstow, Hunter Johnson. I know I'm forgetting people, all with weird feelings that night. He and Kaylee had started talking about a month prior to the homicide. So Mason Barstow is talking to Kaylee a month prior. She would come back with him and stay at the fraternity. They talked on Saturday at the A-Fee pregame party. So he was at Kayla N's, where Kaylee apologized to him. She wanted to go to the game with him. He already had other plans to go to a sorority formal that evening with Mia Darwood. So was there more than one formal that day, or is this the same formal that Maisie Chapin had? So was Mason Barstow at the same formal that Ethan went to? Probably. Kaylee texted him that night, but he ignored it. There's a text from Kaylee. I need to add this. Where's my sticky notes? What page am I reading? 297, you guys, 297. So she texted him. He ignored it. Kaylee was pretty drunk. She was probably texting others to hang out as well. The texts were through Snapchat. Snapchat deletes after 24 hours. So we don't even get a time. But this is in ISP Supplemental 62. ISP 62. Woo! All right. It's a lot. I know it's a lot to listen to. That's why I'm trying to, I'm writing everything down. I know I said I would share it. I'm working on sharing it. I think I'm just going to screenshot all my notes and then I'll share them with you guys. If you want to go back and look. And I apologize that I haven't been reading your comments very much. Let me see. You guys are sharing links. Hello to everybody. Oh, Margaret did the math for me. $800 a week. That's less than salary to me. I would a salary to me would be over 1,000. I think that's an hourly wage, $800, and that's probably before taxes, right? So that to me that sounds like an hourly job. I know, so many duplicate names, Mandy. Wow. Yeah, so lots of new names today. Filling in some holes. We have some possible contradictions like this. Who rented that room down there? I mean, first of all, it's interesting that we learned somebody was renting that room, period. On the first floor, the extra bedroom. And then who rented that room? The only thing that would be curious to me is if they're paying rent somewhere else. If it's somebody who's like living back in their hometown, taking online courses, and they pay rent because, hey, when I come visit, I want to stay with you guys. That makes sense to me. Some questions answered about Kaylee with her income, more suspicions around Kaylee. Tomorrow, I'm going to cover Dylan's timeline. And then it's really going to get crazy. You know, there's something funky going on with this house. Someone said Ashland Couch was still getting mail there. I mean, if you just moved out in July and it's November, I mean, maybe, you know. But I also I took a screenshot. I was watching somebody's video. I can't remember who it was. Somebody had a really good video. Oh, it was about the archer, the missing woman archer. Someone did a video on that. And I think Pinky Starfish sent it to me. And in that video, it showed, was it Kaylee getting pulled? Kaylee had gotten pulled over one time. And she put her address down as 1122, but it was like, it was in 2021. In 2021, and I know everybody knows that, but why? Like, why? Is it just like a free for all? Are there like it could be, what if there's like 30 people paying rent for that house, but only like 6 get to live there? Hey, I got 50 people and they're willing to pay us and it'll help with our rent as long as we hold parties every weekend. I'm just making that up. I'm making that up. Yeah. Well, it was Howard Bloom's book. That's where I think Ashland Couch came from. Howard Bloom is the one that said Ashland Couch's name. And Carlos and I did like 5 videos about the Howard Bloom book. We broke it up into sections and we talk about what's in each chapter. And so you can get the information. I'm going to go back and listen to that because I'm pretty sure Ashland Couch came from Howard Bloom and he talked about them running the house. And I think he described it like all the girls went together and I think Ashland Couch's mom was there. Like there was one mom there and they had to like sign a lease and do all this stuff. But then I've heard other information come out where it was like, no, it really wasn't a lease. It's just like the rooms get turned over year after year. I don't know. But I know that's where that came from. I know that's where that came from. I don't know if this is going to let me go all the way to the beginning. Probably not. Probably not. I hope I did not miss any donations in the chat. I was not focusing on the chat earlier. So I apologize if I missed anybody. And I also did not have my studio started. So I don't have any way to go back and look. I know we had one new member today. That's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate having new members and our unique peeps. Yep. All right, you guys, I am going to come back with, oh my God, now what am I doing? Coming back tomorrow with Dylan Mortenson's timeline. We're going to be on the lookout for who is she contacting all night. All day. We're keeping our eye on that. There are over 200 of you who joined me today. I appreciate you. I hope you got a lot of information out of this. I hope it's helpful. And please just hit that like button on your way out. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm so glad you found this channel too, One Can Leanne. I love that name. I love that name. Yeah, I got to go out and run a whole bunch of errands now. And I will see you guys in the chats later on. And please join me back tomorrow for Dylan's information. I'll see you guys then. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Subscribe, it's free and keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew now, right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Happy unique, yeah, that's you and me. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep, we crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but that's the show. One love, two minds, letting it flow. We dig deep, we crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. We don't always agree, but you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. We dig deep, we crack jokes, we call it like we see. If that's your vibe, you belong here with me. Thanks for watching, hope you felt the spark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. Please hit that like before it gets dark. It's free, it keeps us going strong. You're part of the crew, now right where you belong. Join us next time, same truth, same fire. We bring the heat and never tire. We're typically unique and proud to be a husband and wife and proud to be a husband and wife in podcast harmony. Yeah, that's you and me, that's you and me. Don't forget to like, hit subscribe, it's free. Come back again, we'll be right here with truth and laughs and zero fear.